hopefully, if he has Zealots popping out, then C is screwed. But he might take down the Nexus before he gets screwed, though. And that may have been his intention all along, actually. Just to get that Nexus down and delay long enough to get that Nexus killed down. And there's some Zealots, some slow Zealots there. And if Shuttle wanted to take out this containment right now, he could. In fact, I think it might be prudent of him to do so and then counter. Maybe he doesn't even realize how many tanks that C has, actually. He may think that C has more tanks there. There's only 4 tanks and a couple turrets. And if he'd gone in earlier with 8 or 9 Dragoons and a few Zealots, well, he didn't have the Zealots yet. It's hard to tell, actually, if he'd been able to take those tanks out before they got really set up with the turrets and everything. Speed is upgraded for those Zealots, so again, I do think that Shuttle will be able to break out of this. And it looks like he's just biding his time until the last possible moment when the last possible moment to move out there, but in the meantime, he's losing Dragoons left and right. He's just getting his Dragoons picked off. He had 8 or 9 Dragoons. He's now down to 2 Dragoons. Oh, the Arbiter sneaks the Zealot in and almost draws the Mina into the tank. I didn't actually see what happened there. I think the Zealot got killed before. Oh, there's another Mind Drag, but killing a few Vultures, and that was a pretty good Mind Drag there. That Arbiter is really doing some damage. He's able to drag, and without the comsat, without the turret, he's able to drag those Zealots in there very quickly, and 2 of the tanks that have been taken out. Looks like there's more tanks behind, but in the meantime, that pylon wall is actually going to make it even more difficult for Shuttle to push out against this. Now, C is probably thinking about expanding right now. If he does expand right now, then even if this does not decide the game, C is going to be in a huge advantage going into the middle game, and he's going to have a strong possibility of winning this game. Dragoon's going in here now with the Arbiters, staying a little bit out of range. Stasis going down. Nice work on those tanks. There's only 2 tanks that are actually active now, and only a few Vultures here, and this is what I was talking about. He only had those 4 tanks. 2 got killed, and now with the 2 Stasis, C was just fighting with a skeleton force there, barely keeping that contain up. And I don't know why Shuttle decided not to break that earlier, but he didn't. And now he has broken out of it, though, and C being put on the run. And it doesn't look like he's set up another expansion, so C is not even going to be able to really make much use of that. Okay, there he's getting another expansion up now, but he probably could have had it up and running by now if he really wanted to, although I guess maybe he was focusing all of his resources. I don't know how many factories he has. He had 4 before. Maybe he was focusing all of his resources into moving forces forward for that contain, although it didn't look like he was, honestly, because he didn't have that many forces going. Although, again, maybe what it was is he had only that one machine shop, but then he didn't have any Vultures. So I don't know exactly what C was doing, really. Apparently he was teching the science vessels and saving up for that expansion. I guess that's why he didn't have that much money to work with. Anyway. So while there's a lull, I actually meant to explain this in the beginning, but this game got down and dirty very quickly. But MST is the MSL Survivor Tournament, and it's basically kind of like the round of 64 of the MSL. I don't think it's technically part of the MSL. It's considered the tournament to qualify for the MSL, basically. And the reason for that is that it's kind of like the round of 64, except 60 in the sense that 64 is just double 32, and wow, how the heck did that dropship get all the way into Shuttle's base? He does not even realize it. Finally, he realized that, okay, he had sent some Zealots back there, actually, so he must have realized it. But in the meantime, a counterattack going on by Shuttle, a frontal attack here, but I think C is way too well defended. He's got SCVs to pull off the line. He's got tanks behind. Oh, no! Arbiter's running around willy-nilly, not doing anything, getting killed off by a Goliath, it looked like, or a turret. And, yeah, Shuttle's going to have to fall back there. The tanks were just too far behind, and that nice big command center in the way was able to block to make sure that Shuttle couldn't do too much damage to his forces. Now C's whittled those forces down a little bit, so he's going to be able to push in a little bit further without risking his tanks and attack those Dragoons more closely. But, wow, the dropship somehow survived. That is, well, I guess when there's only Zealots on the ground, it's not easy to, it's not difficult to escape Zealots when you're flying, in general. Look at those Dragoons. Anyway, it's only around 64 because of the kind of double 32, but there's actually, I believe, 48 players in the MST, and it's in groups of 4, and out of every group of 4, 2 players advance. So that makes 24 players that advance, plus 8 seeds from the previous season, equal the 32 that are the round of 32 of the actual MSL. So, a little careless by C there, just running in and wasting. Well, never mind. He took out some probes. I was thinking about how he was attacking the cannon at the end there, but he was just not target firing the probes anymore. There wasn't really that many probes left in the area, though, so that might be part of why. Anyway, but still, you know, another player you would have seen pull those vultures back out again. Shuttle looking to take another base here, and he needs it, man. He needs another base because he's even with C right now in bases at the moment, and C's probably thinking about taking another base as well. So yeah, Shuttle has a little bit of catching up to do, honestly. So yeah, MST is different groups of 4, and if you haven't seen, Cholera's done a couple of the groups. I think Diggity did part of one of the groups, or part of 2 of the groups. Rise and Cholera did some stuff. So the first 4 groups have been done, I believe, have been commentated by various people. But I haven't watched all of those. I don't know if they explain the whole system there, so that's why I kind of decided to explain it there in case this is anyone's first time watching the MSL. Congratulations, welcome to the world of StarCraft and professional gaming. Anyway, so yeah, and again, this is game 1, and the way that it works within each group, and wow, C coming in for some nice harassment, completely open. Jesus, these probes are going to get absolutely slaughtered. Shuttle not making any attempt to run them out. Now he does, with the comsat goes off, and he's still able to kill a few more probes off before those vultures finally get completely surrounded by a ton of dragoons. But he killed several probes, and that is, you know, that is the best way for a Terran to take an economic advantage in this matchup, is just running in vultures. They're cheap as heck. You can slaughter probes, and the vultures just, I mean, in the meantime, you plant down mines before you throw away your vultures, and that can cause even more problems. They're really just, it's just a beautiful harass to do, and that's kind of one of the hallmarks of good players, either Terran or Protoss. The good Terrans will be very, very good and consistent and unrelenting in their vulture harassment, as we're seeing C do here, and the good Protoss will be very good at blocking that and setting up their cannons and setting up pylon walls and putting dragoons in the way and blocking that vulture harass, because yeah, generally, I mean, one way or the other, if you know, one player, if the Terra can get off a lot of harassment, they're definitely going to take strong advantage in most Terran versus Protoss matchups, so it's good to do. Uh-oh, couple arbiters running in here. There's some turrets in the way. Oh, and the science vessel's going to go for the